Welcome to Mindful Drawing. I'm Robert, and I'll be your guide on this meditation practice that enters a space of mindfulness through the act of drawing. Happens to be the day before Halloween today while doing this exercise. We do these through Mindful Pratt, an organization at Pratt Institute here in Brooklyn that develops practices of mindfulness and creativity for anyone who likes to join. But you can find the recordings of the episodes here on YouTube as well to experience the same kind of effect. But these are done live, usually now every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And it's just a chance to have a little community around a meditation act of drawing. For this exercise today, first it's a nice rainy day out there, a little pitter patter on the windows, a bit of a breezy day. So we get a lot of streaks, drops, movement, and flow along that surface, mediating our interior and exterior. I thought that might be a nice place to start the exercise, just making the little mark of a drop of rain, maybe moving fast, moving slow, moving straight or sideways, taking that as the beginning, the way into the drawing, the way to find a very simple technique, just a dot, 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 a little mark. And then we'll see where those marks take us. The metaphor, the idea of the rain splattering a window may drive through the whole drawing, filling the page as if it's what you see outside if you're sharing this rainy day on the East Coast. Or perhaps it finds new paths, makes new swirls and patterns, and becomes its own furry, feathery, flowing condition on the paper. There's no real goal here. Once we get established, we'll enter our awareness, we'll follow our breath, we'll listen to the sounds of interface with the page, and we'll let the eye and the hand do what they do and see what they see as we focus on connecting our breathing, our presence, our noticing of the tools and the instruments, and that expression that flows outward from a half an hour of mindful practice. I'm just going to use a pencil today. You might have a couple handy as we'll be making a lot of marks and they can get kind of dull or have a chance to snap. But if they do, just keep going and that becomes the drawing. Got a piece of Bristol sketchbook, notepad, printer paper, anything will work just fine. Anything that pencil could make a mark on. Go ahead and gather your supplies, establish your space, and let's draw together. Follow along with what you see in my screen, pin it if you like, or just listen and see where it takes you. I'm going to use pencil today, because it's a little smooth and quick, but I think anything you have handy will work just fine. And take a little bit of my inspiration for the exercise from the rain out there. So if you have a piece of scrap paper, or just a little corner somewhere at the back of a page, where you like to draw on, I'm just gonna make a few little raindrops, maybe like they're hitting onto a window. And I'll just establish our technique from there on. The metaphor, the inspiration is up to you if you want to stick with it or turn it into something else. But just these little strikes of the pen or pencil onto the paper, quick little dashes, maybe even just little dots, maybe longer streaks as we go along. With that rainy day outside here, filtering into a way of thinking through the tool, maybe through a simple application of technique onto a page, seeing where it might go. You might try it during the warm-up, a little bit either hand if you're comfortable, just to let the brain wake up a little bit, become engaged with the interaction with the tool, become present with the paper and your position to it, to test out how both sides of the body are feeling. Obviously, for many of us, one is going to be a lot more fluid, a lot more comfortable, a lot more accurate, but maybe we find something nice, relaxing, and using the other half of our brain and our body that we're not used to in this way. But the warm-up just gets us familiar, lets us quickly test out a few things and have a sense of what might come further along. Beyond that, we'll let the stroke guide us, the extension of it to the breath and to the body cycle, play and dance around the page and shift away from the rain on the window to more dynamic landscape of the paper. As you take in the page you'll use for the next part of the exercise, 25 minutes or so, get comfortable with it. Your hands have been moving around, let them know. Just explore out the territory or the boundary, know where the edges are and where your body is relative to that. A bit of movement, make sure you can reach everything comfortably or just know where you're going to be, make any adjustments you need. And so get a little set here for a while. If you ever need a break, we're going to move around. Always feel free to take a break and move around. And take a few centering breaths, deep breaths, just filling out the lungs and the torso, and then letting it relax back into that deflated, exhaled state. Getting a sense of where we are in the space around us, the perimeter of our body, skin, membrane pressing out with the inhalation, touching the air, touching our clothes, and sinking back in with the exhalation. A record of our presence there. And when you're ready, pick up your pen or pencil, move it around a little in the hand, maybe hold it between something like a brush, something like a pen, something like a drawing pencil, just those different positions it can have. Find the one that feels good to you right now, whatever it may be. And we'll begin back where we started on the warm-up, just making some little marks, little streaks. They might be pretty light to start with, but each one as unique of a place on the page as you can make it. So moving around constantly, could drift to the sides, horizontal, jump from place to place, look around in a circle, finding for you what happens when you try to make each mark a new spot. Taking again a little inspiration from that rain on the window idea, where it hits seemingly randomly, each one a new drop falling till it runs into something. And then they've come in a direction from the sky, straight down to the left, whatever it may be. They've come at a speed, guided by the wind and by gravity, so they might start to give themselves a little direction as they impact that surface. So as you're working here, making these repeated little marks, little dashes onto the surface, you begin to play with its directionality, to move slowly towards a direction, towards a side, slowly around the space, up or down, mostly staying about the same. Little flick of the hand to guide the pencil and impact the page for just a moment, leaving behind a small record of that action. And while we're drawing that simple, repeated pattern, a little bit of guiding play, paying attention to that moment of interface, but to bring your mind to the sound, a little tick, click, clack. Just notice it for a little while. Maybe you perceive a rhythm to it, regularity, or oscillation. As you listen to the rhythm, notice the sound of interaction. By bringing that inside the cycles of your own breathing, just the light, normal breath happening behind the scenes to keep the body moving, keep the oxygen flowing. So we won't have one breath per tick unless you really want to go pretty slow, breathe really fast. But instead, noticing the spacing of the ticks with the paper and the in and out motion of the breath. You might even count them a little bit. Give you a little space and time to observe that. The counting, just 1, 2, 3, 4. Per tick, starting again with each inhalation or exhalation. Being that bridge between the action on the paper and the recording of the action, the count, aligned with the thing we have some control over, but also just have to do, our breath. We can begin to notice convergence of that space. Maybe we find a number that happens pretty close each time. 10 little marks when I inhale, 10 little marks when I exhale, give or take a few. We can start to bring that together. Guide the breath's inhalation and exhalation speed to align with the rhythm of your mark making. Or maybe you make the marks a little faster, a little slower, just to hit that nice, comfortable range of the breath. Spending a few minutes quietly focusing inward on that connection to action. And with something like the counting, it's easy to get pulled in one tension or the other. Practice of tension, finding presence with the mind is a bit of an exercise. Few things held in attention become quite complex quite quickly. If we count over, just keep counting up. Maybe our breath slips away. That's okay. We can always bring them back for a moment, find the connection, the rhythm, keep with it as long as we can. And as we gain fatigue, drift, we notice, just bring it back. And when we get tired, we shift to something else in our attention. So anytime you want to drop back into that counting, feel free. As a nice grounding place to align body movement with expression to the mark, with the natural rhythms of your presence there. And a lot of little slashes happening. The hand may need a rest here and there. Switch it up, or just take a moment of pause and observe and see what you begin to see. The rain, for me, becoming a bit of a fur, hair, a direction reaching to a place where perhaps the change in action has changed the marks to get a bit of a difference over the field, but a general consistency happening. And you might see something to begin shaping, or perhaps just finding a new place of interface, playing a little more with the stroke now that we're warmed up. The body knows it, the breath knows it, the mind hears it. Let's start playing with what you see there. Some longer strokes or shorter ones, some direction changes that push a little bit more, orientation, reinforce something there that emerged in the process. For one, medium, clear in the mind. Movement of the wrist, hand, and fingers becoming second nature. And as it does that, noticing what you notice there. Is it visual? See the little hard dots at the beginning of the marks. You can start to push those to be present, making a more crisp impact, reducing their presence, lightening the stroke, smoothing it out, gaining control through the play of the action. Maybe I notice sound in a similar way, a harder tick, 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 tick. Maybe recording that solid graphite's interaction with the page, expression of your emotion, speed, movement characteristics, quality of the mark. You can emphasize it, push it a little more, maybe here, that tick, that engagement. Lighten it up. Make it drift way into the background. That light patter of rain on the window, soothing the morning, refreshing the environment. maybe a little bit of both. Hard, quick motions, softened to smooth, gentle strokes. Tiny little bits of disturbance to the surface, dashes or dots, long, smooth, feathery flecks. Bringing that state of exploration, a playfulness to the foreground, still connected to the body and to our presence, layering in the sounds of the breath, the sounds of the marks. Noticing your own breath washing out over the space in front of you. Hearing its flow inward. Riding its exhalation outward. Gradually shifting the attention to that breath presence, to sound, to feedback, the rise and fall of the torso. The sensations of a fresh supply of oxygen drawn more completely, more fully into the lungs. Fresh cushioning of the body with the movement of air through the whole system. The hand and the eye start doing their own thing. Notice them from time to time. Bring our attention to that breath. It's like the inward refresh. And let them dance and play out in front of us. Be free. Over guidance. Be open and receptive to that refreshing sound of the breath. So you even notice that the early pressures and fatigue from such repeated action fade a little bit. Rather, the hand adjusting to the way of moving, finding its own positions and interface to make it not so strenuous. The muscles getting used to it, getting you through the initial creaky period of any action, finding some blood flow, finding some lubrication in joints, nerves. All the pieces of the system coming together. But we are moving a lot, and so if there is some fatigue that builds up, a little tightness, a cramp, you can always take a break, let it rest, switch hands, move in a different way, hold the pen and pencil in a different way. Following what you notice in the moment. There's no goal here. Just a few drops hitting a surface over and over and over. In the last few minutes we have here in the exercise, we explored the method, application, the connection and interface with the tool, the instrument, marking, paper, receiving, medium. We explored our connection and separation from that medium. Now, maybe we take a little time and explore what emerges through that medium. See what you see on the page, keeping the technique as the way of working, start to follow it, guide it, work within it to find something else there on the page. Maybe a pattern, flow, orientation, an object, figure, whatever it might be, sneaking out of those marks, emphasizing it, even just working around it, mapping it, seeing its edges, bringing a little variation and change, extending beyond first emerges, imagining a little bit deeper into the world. continue on with the inhabitation of that space, you might begin a count of the marks. It's evening for you. That might be a nice way to wind down into sleep. Or just a recognition and notice just how many little moments of interaction you've explored, witnessed, observed, and guided here in this time. Many, many hundreds, thousands of little raindrops tracking along the surface. Just a little bit of time, a bit of repetitive action brings a lot out of any little thing. Along that practice, a little bit of our time paying attention to it is necessary to shape it, some guide it, some know what we're really exploring and getting into. But so much of it can also just take its own shape, work through the system, repetition, work through the experience. Before we know it, we have so much more taking shape. If my pencil is pretty worn down, hand well exercised, as you feel ready, and let those marks come to a close for now. You can always pick it back up again. It'll be hard to remember what we were doing. Simple things, building into something more. Give the hands a little rest, a little wiggle, connect them back to each other with some symmetrical movements, maybe a little clasping together or working together. Remind the nervous system of both sides' place. Take the exercise of one side and let it flow through over to the other. Take the relaxed or stiffened state and let it be warmed by the exercise of the other. Those hands serving us so much as an interface out into the world. Give them a little attention. And then as you're ready, taking a couple of deeper closing breaths. Letting the breath make a sound, signaling that transition. Moving from one state to another, just a few deep breaths to recenter and open up to what's next for you in the day. Thank you for joining. If you celebrated or have kids that do, have a good Halloween and enjoy the fall. See you next week. Well, who knows? Maybe it's the shirt, maybe it's the holiday, but I see something has emerged there from what started as the patters of rain, a little movement, maybe tricking the eye like cloud patterns and seeing the motion of a body, then playing along with that, finding your way into the things you see, the patterns you match, bringing out from there the shape of things, the shape of a body, the shape of an outfit, all made through the tick, 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 little marks, little marks, little marks, until they become something more than their individual moment. And that's where the meditation and the practice really lie, in remembering and noticing that little practice repetitions, trusting that that focused moment, whether that's something for the body like exercise, something for the mind and creative practice like practicing a technique or drawing, or getting better at things you do every day in your life, for your work, for your habits, making a meal. All little bits of practice that we don't necessarily notice build up over time into the thing that makes us whole. I hope you find some joy in the practice, and if you enjoyed the exercise, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you found, maybe what emerged through your own expression. Share with your friends, and subscribe every week for more episodes of Mindful Drawing. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, and happy Halloween. Thank you.